Bitcoin versus the dollar. Every time you have a massive move, Bitcoin goes sharply up. Has the banana zone been cancelled?
Bitcoin is currently at a critical resistance level of $84,400, with potential for a bullish breakout towards $87,000 to $90,000 if momentum continues. That's the latest update from macro investor and CEO of Real Vision Finance, Raoul. However, if buyers weaken, support levels at $82,000 and $77,000 could come into play. The Nasdaq is also experiencing a correction, with many investors overly bearish. Historical trends suggest that liquidity drives market movements, and the Nasdaq remains highly correlated with global liquidity, 97.5%. Despite concerns about financial conditions, past liquidity cycles indicate that the Nasdaq is likely to recover. Make sure to watch the next clip where Raoul stresses the importance of patience, liquidity analysis, and avoiding emotional decision-making in investing.
Also, if you enjoy listening to crypto-related content, please show your support by liking and subscribing to this channel by following the link in my bio, and get access to my free daily crypto updates and expert predictions direct to your inbox. Each newsletter contains on-chain data, forecasts and expert predictions. All of this is available free of charge. It only takes a moment to sign up and you can always change your mind later.
Now back over to Raoul.
Yes, I am an utter moron, and I will take that all day. However, the banana zone is a multi-phase affair and a multi-month and over a year affair. And those of you who expect number go up all the time are only remembering what the banana zone is at certain periods of time. Your number's not going up because you own a bunch of shitholds and you're like complaining. Okay, I get it. Let's go through this again for you morons out there. The banana zone starts. This is the banana zone in the box. We then have a corrective period. Look at this. Corrective period, corrective period, corrective period, corrective period. Does this look any different than this one? No. And then what happens? Banana zone phase 2. Banana zone phase 2. Banana zone phase 2. Then we have another corrective zone. And you're all going to be throwing your toys out the pram. It's all over. It's just like 2021 again. Blah, 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 blah. And guess what? We will correct, and it will go higher again. That's how the banana zone works. And you guys have to learn patience. I know I say this all the time.
Bitcoin is at a crossroads as it trades around $84,339, with market participants keenly eyeing the critical $84,400 resistance level. The current market energy shows a strong buying pressure that could signal a breakout, potentially setting off a bullish surge that takes BTC to new heights. Traders remain alert as the immediate challenge is to overcome this resistance, which, if achieved, could lead to a rally targeting $87,000 and eventually the psychological mark of $90,000. However, the battle is not one-sided. Should the buying momentum weaken at $84,400, the price may retrace, testing important support levels. In such a case, the $82,000 level becomes a key floor where buyers could step in, although a further dip towards $77,000 might indicate a more significant downturn. The market's current state embodies both promise and risk, making the next few sessions critical. Observing these price levels will be essential for anyone interested in BTC's near-term trajectory, whether expecting a surge or a potential collapse. Patience and caution remain vital as investors navigate these uncertain times, where each price movement could redefine Bitcoin's immediate future. The volatility in crypto market makes it essential for investors to stay informed and react wisely as trends evolve.
Nasdaq, let's talk about equities. You guys are nervous Nellies. This is like one of the most bearish ever readings in the history of the Nasdaq. Oh my God, Trump and Scott Bessent and tariffs, and they're all going to make us die. And you guys, stop. You are all way too bearish. The percentage of stocks trading with a RSI of less than 30 is almost record territory. And guess what? Global M2, because the everything code drives everything, drives Nasdaq too. And you guys trying to sell the Nasdaq here are selling something that is perfectly priced for liquidity. And we've had these liquidity air pockets in the past. Liquidity air pocket is when liquidity is not rising, NASDAQ overshoots, it recorrects, comes back down to trend, and then follows liquidity. Remember, NASDAQ has a 97.5% correlation to global total liquidity, which is the index that we use on a broader basis. 97.5%. Bitcoin has an 89% correlation with global liquidity. Global liquidity, I wrote about this in GMI, and there's probably not much time to talk about it now, but is my preferred measure these days. If we go back to the early phase of the Everything Code, the balance sheet was the main thing. After the balance sheet use, we started using Fed net liquidity. Once people understood that the balance sheet was printing of money and debasement, they started moving to Fed net liquidity. Now, all of FinSwit understands Fed net liquidity, as does crypto Twitter. And so they're looking at a TGA and the reverse repo and all of this stuff. Meanwhile, the game has moved. The game is always moving, my friends. The game has moved to total liquidity in the US and everywhere around the world. Total liquidity includes M2. It includes net liquidity at every single major economy level, net liquidity, plus M2. And M2's largest driver is the dollar. That is what they're now doing, which means that they're pushing the monetary policy onto the balance sheet of the banks themselves. So, total global liquidity is the big one. M2, very useful number because it's a large part of it. Okay. NASDAQ and financial conditions, way overshot. Financial conditions are going higher with a 6-month lead. NASDAQ, undershot. I would not be surprised if it bounces. NASDAQ, all of you, there's so many people on Twitter who just hate technology. They hate the fact that the number goes up over the time. They hate the fact that there's a bunch of large companies who make money. They want it to be about small companies. They want it to be about value investing. It ain't so. This is the largest observable trend of our lifetimes, is the log regression channel in the NASDAQ. Get over it. We're here to make money, not fucking be a justice warrior. And here we are in the sort of correction phase that we get often in the NASDAQ to drive the type of returns that we get.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to access my free daily crypto updates and expert predictions direct to your inbox.